and welcome to Rauta's videos. This is quite of a tough cookie to put label on, but decided to put it on opinion videos. So the release date is on Saturday, even though I'm doing this on Tuesday evening. And the reason is this: I'm going to tell you a little bit of our Steelfest 2018 plans. That is to review. Not the review, but the preview, the whole festival, announce the interviews we have so far agreed to do, and talk a little bit of the bands that are playing there. So in case you're still wondering whether or not you should go to Steelfest in 2018, I hope that this video will give you some ideas. In my opinion, it's of course a good idea to go there because there are lots of good bands. It's, well, one of the best festivals there are in Finland when it comes to metal music and all that stuff. So let's take a sip from the advisor, like we call this in Finland. So cheers and kippis. I'm gonna just alt-tab here so I get the idea of the whole schedule, because obviously I won't remember it out of my brain right away. So those of you who haven't been to Steelfest ever before, I try to keep this kind of informative. That is to say, what the festival is about, how the venue is built, what kind of setup there is, and blah blah blah. Now, Steelfest has been arranged something like 6 or 7 times so far. I'm not actually sure. It doesn't really matter then again. And I've been there like 3 years prior to this, so this will be my 4th year there, and always had a really good time. I mean, just venue, people, bands, just everything is really good in my opinion. Those of you who are not from Finland, I guess you need to get more detailed stuff. Meanwhile, Finns who might be just watching this video anyway pretty much know what to expect. So, Finnish part first. People who know, festivals like Tuska, Numirok, and remember places like Hammer Open Air, you can pretty much expect something along the lines of Hammer Open Air, and that, mixed a little bit with these bigger festivals, but more leaning towards Hammer Open Air, in the sense of being underground bands, very much people from the same genres, mostly being black metal and death metal, and some strange ones, wild cards, like it's going to be in the Steelfest 2018 as well. A little bit about the artists in soon. So what to expect is a friendly environment with 2 stages and easy transportation and all that stuff. So for outsiders, that is non-Finnish people, Steelfest is located in a small city called Hyvinkää, which is, I guess, something like 30 minutes from the capital city Helsinki. So in case you're arriving, through a boat from Sweden or Estonia, or then by plane, it's really easy to just, when you land in Helsinki, you just like take the commuter, the train or something, like bus. Works too, and go to Hyvinkää, and basically you just go there. It's already like a few minutes walk from the train station. Hyvinkää being really small city, I mean, the landscape wise, the city central really small, everything is basically nearby. That is, if you have like booked flights and bought a ticket and you have your hotel, everything is really simple basically, because I mean all the hotels and stuff, they are really nearby the venue, and you basically can't get lost unless that is you just get wasted and pass out in one of the green yards in the city. Yeah, the venue is quite small. It's not one of those big festivals where you get to walk hundreds of meters or feet from one stage to another. There are 2 stages, one on the outside, one in the inside, and the overall area is quite small. So places to buy your food or drinks or go to, those outdoor toilets, everything is like maximum of 5 minutes from one corner to another. The weather is usually quite nice at this time of the year in Hyvinkää area. That is, you can pretty much go like this, you know, short sleeved and whatever. And the booze selection is getting better year by year. Food is actually quite great, but in Finland nothing's cheap, so that wise I cannot really say about good things about that. But it's, I mean, the beer, for example, is very okay priced compared to these bigger mainstream festivals, which are just like parasites underneath your skin and stuff like that. So all the basic stuff in Steelfest are just very good. I mean, the only usual complaint I get to do is to bitch about the sound in the inside stage, because that's kind of like an old industrial hall or something, and that is not exactly very good for, you know, acoustic wise and all that stuff. But if that is something like only thing to complain, really, can I really complain about the festival? People are usually quite, you know, like-minded. I mean, since it's mostly about black metal and other extreme forms of metal, people are quite like-minded. You don't get to see fights there, you don't get to see big drama there, and if there is, and it's not related to the festival bands or whatever, because I mean, like, people can of course have their like own family drama when they're drunk. Finns are quite pro with this, but I mean, usually it's kind of like one big family kind of thing. And I know I'm not gonna, you know, sweeten it a bit here. Like, I don't mean that like we're just, you know, a bunch of metalheads, but I mean in general the atmosphere is really laid back, because people are there as much, you know, to talk with their friends who might be or might not be playing in a band in a different festival or whatever. But I mean, it's as much as a social gathering as much as it is a metal festival. So now that we have all this basic information basically gone through, we'll can really discuss about the bands. So like previous years, Steelfest is Friday and Saturday, and both are kind of equal to when it comes to the actual, you know, bands per day. What I mean by that is that there are no like priority days and weaker days, in my opinion. I mean, of course, these all fall into matters of taste and whatnot, but usually I think both days are as important. They're like some bands which are going to play on Friday and some which are going to play on Saturday. So it's one of those festivals where at least I want to be on both days, whether I or not I have work there to do. For example, usually Saturday has been more heavier on me in the sense of work and not so much seeing the bands. This time it's vice versa. But in my opinion, it doesn't really make a difference. Both days are great, and well, I'm just kind of glad to get the Friday part, you know, gone with, because once the work is done, I can just more focus on the bands and seeing friends and eating those goddamn good burgers, because, well, I like to eat. Well, I don't, but, you know, I'm not a little boy. So, I need to refresh. So about the bands. Doors open on Friday at 3 o'clock, which means that 3:30, Havukruunu, the Finnish band, will start the day. That will be followed by Kohol, One Master, and so forth. And basically the first bigger cult act is Archgoat at 6 o'clock. I got requested to do interview with Archgoat, but like I've stated before, we are not going to do it at Steelfest. And the reason is this: I know the guys and we can basically schedule the interview at any other point. So we're not going to waste a slot here to do Archgoat interview, because that can be arranged easier at less of hassle, and we can focus doing other interviews which are not so easy to access. And so not gonna interview that. And then it would be Malkarpatan and Satanic War Master. I think 7:45 will be one of the most anticipated ones. I can pretty much skip it. I saw it like 2 months ago and did an interview, as most of you know. That will be followed by Destroyer 666 at 8:45. In my opinion, a very good live band. Well, so are Archgod and Satanic Warmaster too. And then will be one of the most anticipated names. Some fear it, some don't like it, and some worship it. Nocturnal Mortum from Ukraine. Unfortunately, they never replied to my mail, so it seems that the interview is no go. Too bad, but hey, can't win in the lottery every time. And then we have the other big name of the day, which is Vatine, 11:45. And well, what can I say? After a great new album already early 2018, this show will be much anticipated, and who knows what kind of drama we will have. I'm yet to get confirmed if there will be an interview with Vatine. That will be confirmed later, I hope, but who knows, maybe they will just go, piss off, Cherry, we won't do a thing with you. I don't know. I will try to add it as a comment when I know more, but that is still a big question mark for me. And after midnight, 15 past, Morthese, the Norwegian metal slash synth slash electronic slash whatever legend will enter the stage and finish the evening. And then I'm lucky to have you announce to you that we will have an interview going on with Mr. Morthese. That will be an interesting one because it's not as metal as such, as you know, but then again, the metal history with Morthese is very important, so who knows what will happen with the man behind the band and with those fancy troll ears. And that will be the first day only. I mean, as I count, it's like 11 bands. I mean, that is a heavy day. Even if you just watch like half of the bands, there you will be busy. You're running, you know, from toilets to dining places, beers, and having chat with friends and stuff like that. But it will be a great day, I can assure you, Tad, because that's what Steelfest is famous for. Now, Saturday is even more busy, obviously, because the doors open at 1 o'clock. That means it won't leave you much time for, you know, stay hungover, but you better get to the place if you want to start seeing local bands or local band, because Hin Onde will start the day at 2 o'clock. And usually it is quite, you know, not very crowded around that time. People are just barely moving their lazy bones out of the hotel rooms. But anyway, should you have interest to check out those first Finnish names, you better get to the place at around 2 o'clock. That will be followed by Natfok and Skogen, not very big names, but surely cult enough. And then one of my most anticipated names will be Asagram, the female from that black metal band that was in my top 5 best albums of 2017. You can find my review of that album in the album review section, obviously. And I'm lucky to announce that we have agreed to do interview with them. Heard just like 15 minutes prior to starting this video, so I'm hoping for a very interesting discussion with this atypical black metal band. International levels, international waters. So let's see how it goes live as well as the interview. Then we will have really old school cult death metal act from Finland, Demilich. Not a big name, but surely one of those cult names among bands like Aberrant, Sisma, and other old school death metal names. For black metal heads, not much to see really, but don't miss a cult name when you get the chance to see it. Then there will be another local band, sorry, not local band as in terms of Hyvinkää, but Finnish bands, and one of the most important gigs of the whole event, because Algesant is calling it quits this year. And they recently released their last album, 8 Coffin Nails, which is already reviewed in the album review section. So that is one of the last gigs Algesant is going to play. So definitely go to go see them while you still can. There won't be many chances to do that, at least if they don't turn coach, which I doubt. That will be followed by Sour at 5:30 and Necrophobic 6:15, which is something which I yet again hope to see, because I mean their latest album is one of the better ones from their discography, and these guys have been there for like 30 years. So one of the kind of originators of Swedish black death bands, so be sure not to miss it. Then we go to totally different direction with the Canadian band Fortress. I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm not sure if it has some French tone to it. And I'm also lucky to say that we have that agreed to do interview with. These guys kind of warned me that they are not very fluent in English, but then again, neither am I, as you can pretty much figure out. So I don't know, but it will be interesting to see and hear these Canadian bands because I mean they did very solid release a couple of years ago. So I'm looking forward to see them on stage and get the interview done. And yet again, another cult band which never managed to convince me on stage, but on album I really like them a lot. Cult of Fire, a very mystic band. I would kind of love to interview them, but wrong day, so no can do. And yet again, another cult act, Necros Christus from Germany, will be following them around 9 in the evening. And what I read, their latest album will be their last, so that is yet another funeral thing which we're gonna witness, I guess. And then we go to totally different directions in the Norwegian sector by Dødheimskard. I honestly don't know what to expect. I kind of wished I get to do an interview, but yet again, wrong day. But Dødheimskard, I mean, their first two albums, great black metal, and then when they went to different direction with their kind of a experimental, instrumental, not instrumental, but industrial, and I don't know what to expect them on stage. I hope I get to hear some of their classic tracks, but who knows? They are a band of mystery and surprises, so definitely something not to miss yet again. And one of the Finnish epic big names, Moonsorrow, they are gonna play 11 o'clock on Saturday, so one of the headliners of the day, and also one of the bands which I get to agree a interview with. So let's hope we can shed some Finnish mysticism and epicness to you people out there. And the day will be, you know, finished with Tormentor, yet another cult classic band with lots of history behind it. So huge lineup with awesome bands. To me, I kind of basically pick out, you know, the best of names here, because some bands will be they will be quite surprising, you know, in what they do, and I really don't know what to expect from all these bands. I mean, lots of great bands, not so much boring stuff as it sometimes is with festivals, as you know, but I'm sure that I will miss some of the names and probably regret it later on, because, well, things are like that when you have a busy schedule and you have to do interviews and all that stuff. But those of you who don't have the work there and you have the chance to see as many bands as possible, go do it. So with this kind of lineup, I think there's very few reasons not to take your tickets and, you know, fly to Finland or travel to Hyvinkää and get your shit done and see the video. Oh my god, I'm so tired. See the stages, see the band, see the venue, and, you know, just enjoy the stuff. I'm talking to a video about video. Oh, anyway, what can I say? Steelfest hasn't failed me a single time so far, and I am very doubtful it will still not do it this time either, because such great bands, huge amount of friends, and some interesting interviews going on. So I'm expecting some nice stuff to happen, and what a great way to finally started open doors festival season, and I probably missed something. Anyhow, you can find all the information at Steelfest website. Don't ask me about the prices or stuff you can really easily Google, because it's not like I'm the master of knowledge here. I'm just passing you the information I know. And should you have any questions, which I might be able to reply on the comment fields, take your questions there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And what else to say? Looking forward to get those interviews done to you people. It will be taking a few weeks, of course, once we have done the festival and before the actual interviews are out, but our crew will be working hard with those before we move to the next festival, and that's a totally another story. So, see you at Steelfest. Should you see this friendly face, come say hello, maybe we'll have pints of beer and whatnot. And if you feel too shy, well, shit happens and then you die. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you at Steelfest, and those who don't come there, if you have a chance, well, tough luck. We'll enjoy what you can. See ya!